welcome to the Silverbird Selection. Time for another game review, and this time I'm playing a game that you guys voted for almost unanimously. It's a bouncy game called Hopper Copper, Silverbird packaging release, which came out in 1988. Fairly uncommon game to find out there, but I only paid £2 for my copy, so also probably a not particularly desirable one. So that's enough talk, let's hop to it and play the game. Let's take a look at the packaging of the game then, and this one's a little bit different to quite a lot of the Silverbird ones. Quite an imaginative use of the image on the front cover, because that big sort of oval shape that usually has the image for the game inside it has actually become the giant space hopper which the Hopper Copper has to ride on in this game. So you can also see the Hopper Copper logo in the middle there has got a criminal in a police car. On the top there is what presumably is the Hopper Copper, although he's in very casual clothing. You can see he's got police written on his vest there and kind of a police cap. And then at the bottom there he's squashed a criminal with his space hopper. So yeah, that's quite an interesting front cover and a little bit different to the normal ones. Spine's got the Hopper Copper logo on it, as you would expect, and on the back cover we've got the 4 screenshots as always. All very similar looking. You can see lots of text and a very narrow section of screen that's actually got the game in. I'm not sure if this is the Commodore 64 version or not. And simple explanation for what the game is: bounce on the bandits, Hopper Copper. Looking inside the inlay, we can see this is one of the later Silverbird releases, because you've got the screenshots of other games in the range inside there. So you can see Cauldron, Fighter Pilot, Rebel Star 2 and Night Gunner. The bottom two weren't Commodore 64 releases. And then inside we've got the instructions. Hopper Copper, copyright Prune Software. And it says there, a team of 4 armed and dangerous robbers are on the loose. They're ready to commit crime at any time. They've carefully planned their crime spree, having stolen the police cars and hidden them, leaving you only a child's Astro Hopper on which to give them chase. Once you've found them, you must bounce on them, knock them out and leave them to be picked up by the only police van still in the district. And the robbers are Basher, Trigger, Nasty and Looty, who all have slightly different characteristics, as you can see there. Then we've got the loading instructions. And finally some gameplay controls. So you've got the controls A, as it says there, you can also use a joystick. And it also provides a map of the area you've got to patrol on your space hopper. So that's a nice touch, if nothing else, in the instructions. So the game is loaded, and as you can see we've got a fairly sparse title screen. It's got the Hopper Copper logo at the top, a couple of game options which are just in-game options, not actually choices before you start the game. And obviously it says press fire button to continue, which is actually the fire button to start. Now there is a sort of animated introduction screen that comes on when the game first loads, but then it never cycles round to show that again. It literally just stuck with this screen. So I will show that again when I've completed a game, but for now that's all you can see. There's also no music on the title screen, no credits either. It's very sparse, as I said. So nothing more to say about that. Let's get on and play the game. So here we go. You're a copper on a space hopper, as expected, and what you've got to do is navigate your way down the street to the location of a crime, which is shown at the bottom there, Ramsey Street. I'm actually on the intersection with Ramsey Street now, and you've got to find the 4 criminals, bounce on them, and then they get sent to jail, and the whole thing starts again. So you can see at the top of the screen there, below the Hopper Copper logo, there's a sort of radar of the street. So I'm the little white dash moving backwards and forwards along that. As you do push left or right for a period of time, you do speed up. So each little sort of bit sticking up or down from the main street is an intersection. So if I go close to here, you can see that's an intersection with Ramsey Street. Just come up there where it says location at the bottom. So if I push down now, well actually I'm not going to, because I can see 2 of the criminals have appeared on my radar. So I'm going to try and go and bounce on them to starters. So these streets correspond with the map that's in the instructions. So what I know from playing through this before is that these 2 guys have probably just gone down this intersection here onto Queen Street, and there they are. Queen Street's quite a short street at the bottom of the map, so probably won't catch up with them there. They'll disappear off again, and I'll have to go up to Oxford Street, and there they are. There's two of them in front of me, so I've got to catch up with them and use the fire button to bounce on them. You can see to start with you bounce very slowly, and then you gradually start to speed up. I've actually gone past them now, and this is something I found about the game, is they're there on the radar, but they're not actually on the screen. And I think what they do is go disappear inside the shops, but I can't do that, so I just have to wait until they reach another intersection. I think the game's a bit glitchy, to be honest. Let's go up this intersection here, which is back to Ramsey Street as it happens. And there's nobody on there at the moment. Oh, there we go, here's one of them now. So the idea is I've got to bounce on him. There we go, got him. And then my copper bounces off the screen. This truck comes and picks him up, and you start again. And you've got to find the other three now. And you get given some kind of arbitrary score. I don't think the score's the same every time for each one that you get. It might even be like a multiplier. So I mean, that's it for the aim of the game. You've just got to find these 4 criminals, bounce on them, and then do the same thing again. So here we go, there's another one of them here. So use the fire button to bounce on him. There we go, got him. So that's 2 out of 4. Now the problem now is that the other 2 have dispersed somewhere on the map, and I've got to try and find them. And they're not usually very easy to find. Although there we go, there's another one on this street, fortuitously. That score's definitely not a multiplier, by the way, because I got less for the second one than I did for the first, so maybe there's a different score attributed to the 4 different criminals, because they are supposed to have different characteristics. But to be honest, there's actually 2 of them there, right on top of each other, I think, but I can see 2 sets of legs running, so I could get them both here and move on to the next one, if I could ever catch up with them. Yeah, that's got one of them, but I think the other one's still there, you just don't see him at the moment. So when I respawn, hopefully I'll see the other guy. There we go, I've got him as well immediately for some reason. Again, I think that's a bit of a glitch. So there you go, I've got the first set of criminals, and now I have to go and do the same at Sam's Bar on Park Lane. Is where the next crime is occurring. So yeah, the scoring seems a bit random. And, I mean, in terms of the aim of the game, you've seen it. That's all there is. You get a 10-minute time limit, and I was assuming that when you complete one set of bad guys, you'll get like a score reset or a time bonus, sorry, is what I mean, not a score reset, a time bonus, so it allows you to carry on for longer, but it doesn't seem to work that way. You just get 10 minutes to bounce on as many criminals as possible. So where am I going? I'm trying to get to Park Lane here, School Lane on that intersection. I've obviously got the map with me as well, but to be honest, they just pop up all over the place anyway. So you do have lives as well, but on previous playthroughs I've yet to lose a life, so I don't really know what's going on there. I assume one of them can throw stuff at you and that does make you lose a life, but I've never seen that happen. They're so easy to kill, or collect, or arrest, or whatever you want to call it. It's just really easy, but also quite boring. So the graphics are not too bad. I mean, there's a nice animation of the guy on the space hopper. It's a completely, here we go, I've got a couple of them coming up here. It's a completely ridiculous premise. See, he's just vanished. He didn't even vanish into a house. Maybe into that window, I'm not sure, but it's really strange. They just kind of disappear. Try and get another one here. See, he's not there. He's in the background somewhere. And I don't know, he'll suddenly pop out somewhere, I guess. I'll just trundle along. No, he's vanished completely, so maybe he's gone down this street here, High Street. Nope. So yeah, completely disappeared. But anyway, as I was saying, the graphics, I mean, the idea is completely ridiculous, but the actual animation of the guy on his space hopper is not too bad. Can't really complain about that too much. The backgrounds are pretty boring. They're just repetitive sort of street graphics, you know, windows, doors, a few signs on the doors here and there, but nothing particularly noteworthy. And there's some music, which I think is not too bad. It's a fairly bland SID tune, you know, repetitive, but not terrible. There's definitely a couple of them here, so let's try and get them. They've just gone right past me. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Seen the guy throwing his bar. I've never actually seen that happen before, but that's obviously not lost me any lives, but it slowed me down a little bit, and I've lost them now. They must have gone down this intersection, I would guess. Yeah, here's one of them. See if I can get him this time. No, again, he's just vanished. Oh, he must have gone down this side street. There we go, there's a couple of them on this road. Let's see if I can get him this time. There we go, there's one. And I got virtually no points for that. I got like 100 points. Seems I've completely lost them now. So there's a few nice touches in the background. They're not anything special, but there's a butcher's shop there that you can see some meat hanging up in it. There's a police station and a bank and a bar. You know, the usual sort of stuff you'd see in the streets. The streets are mostly named... Oh, hello, there's one of them. Are mostly named after streets in London, but there is also... Again, he's vanished. There's also Ramsey Street, which is probably a sort of nod to Neighbours. Here we go, here he is. Come on. Catching up with him before you get the speed up is really silly. And again, he's just completely disappeared. They must go in the doors and he's just not there anymore. So that's a bit unfair. There's that butcher's shop I was talking about. Okay, so he's definitely gone down this side street. Oh, okay, there's two of them here. See if I can catch these guys before they get to the other end and disappear again. Yeah, and they just seem to vanish off screen and then they're gone completely. It's really frustrating. I mean, these are both going to go on to the next street, so I should get him here. I'm just bouncing behind him and I just can't catch up with him at the moment. It's ludicrous. There we go, there's one of them. Now this guy's suddenly just floating backwards in some kind of moonwalk, so I've no idea what's going on there. He's just disappeared. It's definitely a very glitchy game and feels a bit unfinished. Like I say, I've no idea what the lives are for, because I've never come close to losing a life. I don't know what would make me lose a life, and surely the timer should be resetting or giving you a bit more time every time you foil one robbery. So I think I'm on the next one now, strangely, although I haven't collected all 4 criminals. Maybe not. Can't remember where the last one was. I think it was on Pot Lane, so I'm probably just talking rubbish. There we go, there's another one here. This might be the 4th one. See if I can get him. But my scoring's not very good, whereas when I played it before, I foiled 2 robberies and I had like 50,000 points, so I've no idea what's going on with the scoring. And he's gone again, he's disappeared. It's just infuriating, and well, it's not infuriating really because the game's so boring and it's not even worth getting upset about really. Just see if I can get this guy before my time runs out. There we go, got him. And again, I've got like 70 points or something for that. It just makes no sense. So there must still be one more to get and I've no idea where he is. I think when the robbery first occurs, they do all start off near the street. So if you can navigate to that quite easily, you get them quite quickly, but then they just sort of disperse across the map. I suppose you could say this is an early example of an open world game. There he is. But not a very good one. Let's try and get this guy. There we go. So suddenly my score's gone up to 31,000, having just been about 5,000. And there we go, now another robbery started, but I've only got 20 seconds left to try and get the guy. So yeah, it's just, it's not very good, is it? Surely this guy would just be better off running after the criminals rather than using his space hopper. And you know, he has got a truncheon after all, so there we go. So that was game over. So you can see it ends very abruptly and you've got a high score table, but there's also some glitches with this because, well, first I've pressed fire to put the first letter in, I can't go back, but you can only push down to change the letter, so you can go down and cycle through the letters, but you can't go up. So if you go past, if your name was Andy, for example, and you go past the N, you'd have to go all the way around. So yeah, rubbish again. It's just really quite a poor game, poor presentation, boring gameplay. It's not very good. So I'm just going to quickly cycle through that, and you'll see after this the high score table. Probably. There we go. So there's your high score table, which you only see after the game's ended. You don't see it when the title screen's on. So then if I press fire to continue, this was the little animation I was talking about. So you get this animation when the game loads and after every game. Again, no music. You see the high score table, and then it goes to this screen, and that's where it gets stuck until you either start a game or give up, which is what I'm about to do. Okay, then let's get this over with and do the review scores. Firstly, packaging I thought was pretty decent. The instructions are quite comprehensive. You've got the little map in there as well. The front cover graphic on this packaging was quite nice as well. So not really any complaints about that. It's not outstanding, but it's pretty decent. So I'm going to go with 7 out of 10 for packaging. Presentation, on the other hand, is pretty poor. It's pretty much just this screen. And the high score table, as I said, you only see it briefly after playing a game, and also when you're putting your name in, you can only cycle one way through the letters, so that's not very good. So presentation, I'm going to give 4 out of 10. Graphics, pretty average really, nothing to write home about. They do the job, but they're nothing outstanding, so 5 out of 10 for them. Similarly, the sound, there's no sound effects, no music on the title screen, but the in-game music's not too bad, quite bouncy, ironically. And pretty short though, so you will get a bit bored of it over the 10 minutes that you're playing. So I'm going to go 5 out of 10 for sound. And finally, playability. Well, it's playable in as much as there's nothing particularly broken about the gameplay, but it's just really boring. And one playthrough, you're not really going to get any better at it. The appearance of the criminals is pretty random. They disappear off the screen randomly as well. The scoring's weird as well. So all in all, pretty disappointing playability wise. I'm going to give it 3 out of 10. Which means it gets an overall score of 4.7. So pretty low on my standards so far. And quite clearly not worth the £1.99 asking price. So, have you ever played Hopper Copper? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. Personally, not impressed with it. I'm pretty sure no one else would be either. That's another review completed then. Getting close to 30 reviews in total crossed off the list. In fact, the next game that you pick from the two that I'm about to show you will be the 30th game that I'll be reviewing. So this time the theme for the two games that I'm going to let you vote for in the comments is Awesome Alliteration. I love a bit of alliteration, and these two games feature some awesome alliteration and also the name of a male character in the title of both games as well. The two choices are Dynamite Dan or Harvey Headbanger. So which awesome alliteration title do you prefer, Dynamite Dan or Harvey Headbanger? Let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about the game I've just played as well, and I'll see you soon with another video. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you again next time.